know God's truth before ever considering a tempting sales pitch for sin. Top of the morning to you. When reading Proverbs 7 with the eyes of love and a firm determination to get to know our God better, we find the topic of conversation between the father, David, and his son, Solomon, to be how to stay out of the trap of sin. The father chooses to use the example of prostitution, but like before, this can be about just any sin in general. Let's put ourselves in the instruction as the child and God as our father and see what we gain on how to avoid the death trap of sin. The primary thing our Father wants to get across for us is to set a foundation for our lives, valuing God's teaching and His commandments as the most important repellent to sin. If we love God's Word and decide ahead of time to be vigilantly watchful over our hearts and minds, verse 2 says that we will live. Consider godly wisdom as a close blood relative you want to protect like a sister or an intimate friend you value. Why? That's the way that you keep away sin and all those who would tempt you. You won't even have to listen to them or their thought or their ways. Verse 7 to 23 describe what happens to those who don't value godly wisdom and take it to heart. The sin process begins in the mind where we use our imagination wondering what it would be like to sin. This mind wandering leads us to physically wander close to the path of sin, getting just close enough to see the bait inside the trap. Once in sight, we get an unexpected visitor that talks to us about the bait. This agent of sin tries to direct our attention to all the good and pleasing aspects of the bait while edging us ever closer to the trap. As we get closer, our senses are engaged until we are presented with the offer to come into the trap. The agent allays our fears. It'll be okay. Verse 21, with much justifying and enticement, she persuades him and leads him ever more aggressively into the trap. Verse 22, suddenly he yields and follows her reluctantly. Once inside, the bait overwhelms all the senses. It becomes too much to resist. The trap closes, costing the person's life. Father concludes by saying we can eliminate all this unnecessary pain by listening to him in his teaching at first. Words of encouragement. The agent of sin is Satan. He's good at what he does, and he's caught many mighty people in his death traps. The solution is to keep our heart and mind focused on godly wisdom. That's Jesus. Value it more than anything. Don't let our minds wander into sin's playing field. We are no match there. We do this by Romans 8:1. Don't walk according to the flesh, but according to the Spirit. And Isaiah 26:3. Keeping our minds on God. Have a great day.